What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Jules. Thank you for coming back for another weekly update of my channel and my cross-stitch progress, of which there is some this week, so that's a good thing. It's a good start. It is the middle of July 2020. We are over halfway through this wretched year, and the week has had a few hiccups, a few bumps. You guys will probably notice if you keep an eye on the channel that I did not release a Stitch With Me video this week. Partly, actually mostly, I kept having issues with my computer trying to load up the proper video, and in the end I just kind of ran out of time and just never did it. And so I'm sorry about that. I hope to basically reverse that trend here, certainly this week. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning, recording a video and hopefully releasing it Friday or Saturday if I can get my act together, and so you guys will have some Stitch With Me's to watch. But speaking of the Twitch channel, it's still going strong. It's getting a little bit busier all the time, and more streamers are coming on board, so it's a lot of fun to kind of sit and stitch with people. And if you're kind of a little, curious as to what we're doing, just follow the link down below. I'll be stitching on Thursday morning. Let's see, Mountain Time, Colorado. I usually try to get on 8:30, 9 o'clock or so, and I'll stitch for 2.5 hours or so. Mostly it's talking, a little less stitching. So, but let's talk about kind of progress that I make this week on my projects. First up, we're going to show Rainy Waterloo Place. We're doing the same old standards again this week, trying to make some progress on these pieces that I just really want to see a finish on before the end of the year. First up is Rainy Waterloo Place. Let me show you this one. It's up this side. See, I'm doing this differently this week. But you see that we're just filling in more and more stuff. I've got it gridded almost to the bottom of the page here, and that's about as far as I got. I probably got a couple hundred stitches in it this week. Maybe not as much as I wanted to do, but I mean, I don't think I ever do as much as I want to do. But there it is, and but it's coming along really, really nicely, and we're getting closer and closer to that ever elusive finish. Next up, we're going to show some Dachshund. Dachshund saw some really nice progress today, a couple days ago actually, and I'm going to show you. You're starting to see the scope of kind of how big Dachshund's going to be, but as you can see, I just kind of filled in all the purple, came down around here, and then started to sort of outline this area of it. And then you can see the kind of little blue and the white that I filled in. This like little angel wings for Dachshund, wherever Dachshund is floating around. But I definitely have gotten there, and we're slightly over halfway down. The page is basically, the project is basically about this long, so we are halfway here coming down, which is great. And I filled in a bit more, just a little bit more up here, but it's coming along nicely. I really like it. I like that I decided to go down vertical, just to get the full measure of what it's going to look like going down here. I think there's going to be a lot of purple down here. We'll see. We'll see. This is the whole entire piece. It's a lot bigger. It's always bigger than you think. Alright, and then lastly, some Boba Fett, which I think I'm going to stitch on more Boba Fett tonight, because I kind of got into this pattern. Whoop, I still got a needle in here. Kind of got into this. Let me pull it through so it doesn't distract. And there we go. So what I was working on was this area over here, that there's some light pinks that are going in to kind of just give it a little brush of color in those cloudy areas, and then I did more darker stuff down here. So kind of just moved down to the bottom of the piece just to kind of see how it goes. For whatever reason, I say goes with a Canadian accent all the time. I don't know why I do that, but there's that. Definitely need to fill a lot more in with this, but it's coming together. I think it's actually looking quite nice. If I would actually stitch it box by box by box, if I would just fill it all in, it would look even better. So I'm so undisciplined as a stitcher sometimes. My side tensioners for my roller frame have yet to come in. There's been a little bit of a shipping delay, but they've been shipped now, so they may be in the mailbox or they may come tomorrow. We'll see. But as soon as I get those, then I've got Reaper ready to rock and roll on this piece, and I need to move my desk away from the wall a little bit more. It's a little too close. If I can move it maybe up and out just a little bit, I think I'll have a bit more space, because I'm going to need space for this big old roller frame here. I did get in my lap frame, but I want to use it more before I really get to talking about it. It is difficult for a one-handed stitcher where you're just using your one hand to get used to stitching two-handed, and I don't want my lack of skill stitching two-handed to prejudice anybody against the lap stand that I may be using. I just got to get used to it. I got to just keep practicing with it. So outside of that, the week went by really fast. So I'm glad that I definitely got some more stitching done, and I made some good progress on some things. And the frames are coming along. I also have... I need to do a whole video just on the frames at some point. I really do. But time is short. Time is really short. As far as stitching is concerned, that's kind of where I'm at. Trying to think if I have anything else new stitching-wise. I don't think I do. Yeah, I think that's it for now. For stitching-wise. Books-wise, let me talk real quick about books, because that's kind of why I'm hustling through this this video a little bit. The latest Dresden Files book just came out from Jim Butcher, and if you guys are Dresden fans, like my husband and I are, we've been waiting for this book for a while. We were latecomers to the series. We only discovered them a couple of years ago and succeeded in reading like 15 books in a year to get all caught up. And what we're actually doing now, we've never done before, but we're big audiobook fans. We both love to listen to audiobooks. And we're listening to the audiobook together, which is actually quite a lot of fun. And but it's also painstaking because we both have to be present in order to listen to the book. So we just started it last night. We're going to listen to it again tonight. And we'll probably have it finished no later than Saturday, I would say. But he's also listening to a book that was recommended by some folks in the Twitch stream, which was a book called The Wandering Inn. And he is into book 2 now. That just came out yesterday as well. And he's like 12 hours, 15 hours or something into that book, and he's loving it. So that's, after Dresden, that's one of the books that I've got to get into. And then something came out today. Neil Gaiman released the novelization of the Sandman series. Maybe it's, I'm not sure if it's the written word or just the audiobook, because they have an audiobook of the Sandman that is dramatized by a number of different actors, voice actors. People like Jim McAvoy, James McAvoy. I shouldn't say Jim McAvoy. It's not like I know him. And other people that are famous type folks voicing these characters. And I like the Sandman graphic novels, but I only got into like maybe like the 4th or the 5th one, and then I had a hard time finding whatever it was. I had a hard time finding the next one, so I was never able to kind of go all the way through them. But definitely. I'm really looking forward to listening to that one as well. So for whatever reason, it's just like this rush of all these books. Speaking of which, did I talk about this last week? How Ready Player 2 is getting ready to come out? Ready Player 1, there was a movie that came out about it, but it's a pretty geeky, famous book about a sort of dystopian future world where pretty much everybody lives their lives virtually online, and allowed society to kind of crumble and fall around them. And a lot of it's based in the 80s, and I'm never going to be able to tell you a good summary of it, but let's just say that if you saw the movie, I thought the movie was okay, but the movie was not the book. The book was far superior to the movie if you're just comparing the two. The movie was alright, but the book was way better. Well, the guy's coming out with a sequel, and it's called Ready Player 2, and it's coming out in, I want to say, November. So, you know, maybe having all these writers sitting at home doing stuff has made them hopefully finish their books. Patrick Rothfuss, are you listening? Are you listening, Patrick? Please finish your book. Well, okay, maybe not. But, you know, work on it some instead of being on Twitch live streaming sometimes. And so anyway, he writes a book called the King Killer Chronicles. Writes a series of books called the King Killer Chronicles. And we're desperately waiting on book 3. Can't wait for that one. But I did finish book 4 of what book series was that? The Last Apprentice. The Last Apprentice, if I could talk. That was really good. And I have book 5 loaded up, ready to go, but there's just so many audiobooks stacked on top of each other, and it's a great time to be an audiobook lover, I gotta tell you. And so hopefully that means I get more stitching done. So we'll see. But I'm gonna pick one of these projects to work on and get some more stitching done tonight. That's pretty much it, I think. Ollie went home. Our little dog that's been hanging out with us. He finally went home last night. He stayed with us for an extra week. We had him for 2 whole weeks, and Doogie and Topher could not be more excited about him leaving, because they now basically finally get to kind of relax and do their own thing instead of having a dog in their face all the time. So it was just kind of funny to watch them. Outside of that, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope that everything is going well for you. I want to throw a quick shout out to, I don't know if I'm saying the name right or not, but Asa, who does Pattern Keeper. We've talked about this before, about how amazing Asa is to basically be doing Pattern Keeper all by herself, and she's doing an absolute fantastic job with the kids at home and with COVID and everything going on. I thought I saw on the boards on Facebook that there is a big update coming at some point here soon, and I can't even imagine what that would be. If it's I don't think it's going to be an iOS release, just because, I mean, that's not really an update. I think that's more of a new release. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because there's so many of you guys that want Pattern Keeper on your for your cross stitch, because I can tell you, it really does help. It helps so much. But maybe there's just more in terms of more artists, or who knows, but it's something to kind of keep an eye out for those of you guys who are Pattern Keeper enthusiasts. And outside of that, kudos to all you guys getting a tremendous amount of stitching done. More power to you. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to get back downstairs to where my husband is so we can listen to our Dresden Files book, and I'm going to take some Boba Fett with me, so get some stitching done. Be safe. Have a great week. I'll see you guys in the streams, or I'll see you on the Stitch With Me that I'll actually release, and take care. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.